The diary entry was dated the day after my sister's funeral, written in her unmistakable handwriting. "I can't believe he fell for it," it read, the words curling across the page with a calm satisfaction that made my stomach turn. The scent of her perfume, that familiar floral note, still clung to the paper, mixing with the faint, metallic smell of old ink. My fingers went numb, the diary's leather cover suddenly feeling damp and cold against my skin, like the touch of a tomb. Outside, the world was silent, but in my head, 1,000 memories rewound and shattered. Every hug, every secret, every whispered promise of sisterhood. Then I saw it, tucked behind the last page, a single, glossy photograph. It was a picture of me, taken from outside my bedroom window last Tuesday, the night the police said she died, and written on the back, in that same elegant hand, were just 3 words. "I'm watching, Chloe." For a decade, I hunted her killer, until her diary revealed a truth more terrifying than any ghost. The pages smelled of old paper and something faintly metallic, like dried ink and forgotten tears. My fingers traced the indentations of her words, each sentence a cold whisper from the past. And as I read, the melancholic truth settled in the room, heavier than any silence. Sun-dappled footage of a suburban Austin neighborhood, home video style. 2 young girls laughing and playing together in the yard. Hailey wasn't just my sister. She was my entire world, my protector. Our dad vanished when we were little. And Mom just checked out. Hailey was the one who packed my lunch, who chased off the bullies, who whispered stories when the world grew too loud. She was beautiful, popular, Oakridge High's golden girl, but she carried a shadow, a darkness. It had a name, Kyle Mitchell, charismatic, from a wealthy family, and unnervingly possessive. The kind of possessive that begins as flattery but ends with you isolated, your social circle shrinking to just them. We all saw the subtle shift. Hailey's once vibrant presence in the crowded hallways grew withdrawn. Her shoulders hunched as if carrying a weight. An atmosphere of quiet dread settled over her, like the cold, damp touch of fog seeping into your bones. We all saw it. We just didn't know how to stop it. The regimented outfits, the ceaseless texts, the way his fingers would dig into her arm with each forced laugh. I pleaded with her to get out, but she'd only offer that weary, hollow smile. "It's complicated, Chloe," she'd whisper, her voice carrying the faint, metallic scent of old fear. "You'll understand when you're older." The night before senior prom, Hailey disappeared without a trace. Her purse was discovered near the old Lake Travis Trail, discarded like trash. The air carried the metallic scent of blood. Not a lot, but unmistakable. Enough to turn a simple disappearance into something far more sinister. The prime suspect? Kyle. He had no alibi. He had a history of violence. The air in the station grew heavy with the scent of old coffee and stale sweat. Every officer knew this wasn't just another case. Without a body, without proof, the entire town's accusations went nowhere. The case grew cold. For a decade, I was trapped in that single night. I became a ghost myself, haunting police precincts in the flickering blue light of online forums. The years passed in a numb blur of desperation and the stale scent of old coffee and paper. I built my life into a shrine for Hailey. Mom left Austin, but I couldn't abandon her memory. Every man I dated was measured against Kyle, and in each I saw a potential predator lurking in the shadows. A cold, metallic scent of fear would cling to the air whenever they got too close. My world had become a quiet, haunted vigil, where every whispered promise felt like a threat. He moved on, law school, a flashy career, while I remained trapped in a past that consumed me from within. Then, last month, I finally began clearing out the old house. Dust motes swirled in the slanted light like forgotten memories given form. The air was thick with the scent of aged paper and something faintly metallic. The attic's stale air clung to my skin as I brushed aside layers of dust and memory. My fingers found the leather binding beneath the wedding china, cold and slightly damp to the touch. Hailey's diary, the one that vanished with her. A tremor seized my hands, my breath catching in my throat. This was it, the final testament, the proof of Kyle's abuse that would finally put him away. I sat on the dusty floorboards, and I started to read. The diary pages rustled as they turned. Hailey's handwriting began tidy, then grew frantic. Hailey wrote, "Kyle demands I abandon Chloe, claims she's toxic. Does he not see she's the only genuine light in my world?" Her words carried a palpable ache, a raw vulnerability that cut through the page. Reading them, a profound sorrow settled in my chest, heavy and cold. "See? But then, narrator, played the victim card again today. Told Mrs. Jenkins Kyle shoved me." His scream was loud, primal. The sheer terror etched across his face almost justified what came next. Narrator. I stopped. The words hung in the air, thick with an implication that curdled my stomach. A metallic scent, like old pennies, seemed to seep from the page. My fingers felt numb against the paper, but I couldn't look away.
I forced my eyes to track the next line. The entries spiraled, not a diary of fear, but a ledger of control. Narrator. Experiment. Told Dad that Kyle might be dealing. The words reeked of ozone and cold calculation. A sticky dread clung to each clinical notation, whispering of something far worse than mere observation. The drama was exquisite. Chloe cried. She always cries for me. My perfect, loyal audience. Kyle is getting bored. The compulsion was overwhelming now, a corrosive whisper demanding escalation.
A public spectacle? Or something that could be written off as a tragic mishap? The options unspooled in a cold, logical spiral. The air itself grew thick with the metallic scent of ozone, as if a storm were gathering not in the sky, but in the mind. Every thought was now underscored by a relentless, pounding rhythm. A psychological drumbeat marching toward the inevitable. My blood turned to ice as I realized this wasn't my sister. This was a strategist, a puppeteer pulling invisible strings in the dark. The scent of ozone and damp paper filled the air as I watched her document her own manipulation. A primal dread took hold, freezing me in place as I understood the depth of her game. Then, I found the final entry, the night she vanished. Narrator. Final act. It must be monumental. Kyle's eyes held that familiar, cowardly flicker. He was finally going to leave me. He thought he was in control of this moment. Of us. The irony was almost sweet. But endings require a signature, a final punctuation to make them real. It has to leave a mark. He'll be my masterpiece, a testament they'll remember me by, the angel he unwittingly destroyed. The plan is irrevocably set, a clockwork mechanism of ruin now ticking into motion. The trail is laid, a subtle path of whispers and misdirection for them to follow. And the blood? A mere pinprick's worth. The first, coppery-scented note of the symphony to come. They'll uncover my belongings. They'll discover him, and I will finally be free. A fresh identity, an unknown city, a whole new game to play. Chloe, I'm sorry. You were always the star of the show. Please, don't come looking for me.
The transmission ended abruptly, replaced by a hollow, 3-second void. In the sudden quiet, the air grew thick and stale, carrying the faint, metallic scent of old electronics and something else. Something damp and forgotten. Then, from the dead speakers, came a single, wet click, like a final, mechanical breath being drawn. Chloe's gasp shattered the heavy air, sharp and ragged. Narrator. It was all a script.
Her vanishing act was just a performance.
And for 10 long years, I was her captive audience in the front row.
The blood, the purse, nothing but stage props in her twisted production. Kyle wasn't a killer. He was her patsy, her meticulously crafted exit strategy. The air grew heavy with the scent of ozone and cold, damp earth, a chilling prelude to her design. This was her ultimate revenge. A trap sprung for the simple, fatal crime of daring to leave her. Every whispered plan, every staged clue, was a barb meant to ensnare him in a nightmare of her making. I became her willing weapon, pointing the accusatory finger, keeping the investigation alive, and torturing him with my very public grief. The diary lay open before me in the dim room, its pages a testament to my own unwitting complicity. A quiet devastation settled over me as the musty scent of old paper filled the air, each word a fresh wound. I went to the police. I showed them the diary. The forensic analysis of the blood, a mere droplet from a lancet, told a chilling story. The supposed abduction site had been meticulously staged, every detail arranged to mislead. Now the entire case was being quietly reclassified behind closed doors. And Kyle became the scene. His presence heavy with unspoken dread. His arrogance had evaporated, leaving only a shattered, middle-aged man whose existence was annihilated by a spectral presence. He harbored no hatred toward me, only a hollow resignation that settled in the stale air between us. His voice was a dry whisper, carrying the weight of shared betrayal. She fooled us both, didn't she? The final image lingered. Chloe's gaze fixed on the faded photograph of a family that no longer existed. Her fingertip traced the faded smile in the photograph, a ghost of the girl named Hailey. So where is she now? Does she walk among us, wearing a stolen name, living a borrowed life? Or was her grand final deception flawed from the start, a single, unseen thread left dangling? The answer lies in the gap between the story she told and the scent of damp earth left behind. I spent a decade searching for a monster in the dark. The truth is, the sister I loved was never real. She was a character in a story I didn't know I was watching, and I was her favorite, captive audience. I never thought to search for her in the spotlight. Now the question that haunts me isn't, who killed my sister? But who did my sister become? If she's out there, watching this, was I ever truly loved? Or was I merely the most convincing prop in her collection? Sometimes, the most perfect victim is the one holding the strings.